Hi, welcome to Froggy and Friends podcast. This is a podcast put on by Froggy and Friend. Yes, Froggy and my friends, Jaden and Tiger. But we are put on by frogmansfinds.com, your local toy store online. We do our best to carry all the cool stuff. Here on the pod, we like to talk toys, entertainment, life. Whatever may be of interest for us today. We're recording for the first time in the day, which is nice. To get us started, though, I have something important to show you both and to show you as the audience. Would really appreciate your feedback and input, and so we will start with that. So I had to start. I saw this right before we started recording, so I needed your thoughts on this hot, debatable topic.
Okay.
I so like so she's saying that stew is specifically defined as more stuff than water, right?
Yes, correct.
So I'm inclined to agree with that, but I feel like it breaks down at chowder because there's so much
Mm,
stuff in chowder, you know?
mm,
And if we're gonna say that chowder is a soup and chili is not a soup, there's a problem there. Chowder either needs to be a stew alongside chili, or chowder needs to be a soup, and chili also needs to be a soup.
it's
They need to
true.
be in the same category.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah, it seemed like a pretty heated debate there at their news center there.
It is true. I feel like when you get a spoonful of chowder, there is no water. It's all like that stuff that you feel on your tongue.
Yeah, it's just
Sometimes
kind of congealed.
you can get a spoonful of chili that is mostly a soupy base. It's rare, but it does happen.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
feel like if you got a soupy chili, you might have been going in the wrong direction in the kitchen. Like, need to tighten it up a little bit.
That's true. What about a bisque? A bisque is kind of in the same realm as a chowder.
I would say yeah, a bisque is more in line with a chowder than anything. I feel like a chowder is generally more thick than a bisque, but still like. And then where do you fit jambalaya in all this?
I think
Yeah, it
jambalaya is a
definitely has a lot of
stew.
ingredients.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like there's the soup circle and then the stew circle, and I think chowder and maybe bisque exists in the middle of that Venn diagram.
Yeah, okay. I could see that.
They're the middle ground. And then, yeah, it's not soup weather here. I don't think it's soup weather where you guys are either. So,
Not
No, not
yet.
really. I mean, it feels a lot better than it did coming out of the summer and all that, but yeah, we're not quite there.
yeah, it's we actually got um some rain Friday and then yesterday morning, which is nice, but it was still muggy. Like I opened all the windows, so I thought it would bring in the cool air, and it just made the inside very humid, which was not nice.
Mm. Yeah.
I hate it when that happens.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for joining me in that debate. I'll go through store news and toy news, and then we can switch over to some of our pickups and any other hot topics that we wish to discuss. So, for the store, um, my kids are slipping stuff under the closed door. They're like drawing stuff and like writing notes. That's what happens when I record when they're not asleep. Um,
Yeah.
so we actually, as of the recording right now, we only have Man Wolf. The other Magic the Gathering Marvel Legends are going to be coming maybe Monday or Tuesday. Besides, what's her name? Mary Jane. She hasn't arrived in the warehouse yet for some reason. Yes, we have those. I'm excited to crack in and yeah, people were saying that the I mean, I think the Spider-Man Magic the Gathering crossover is really hot right now, just kind of across the board. But the pack-in cards are still selling pretty well, I think, because these figures aren't easy to find right now. And so even like the Manwolf card is going for like $20 on eBay. I think the Battle Damage Spider-Man, some people saw it going for like $60, which is wild.
Of
Um,
course, the Magic speculative market is always unstable at best. So
yeah.
certainly, if you are getting the cards to sell, get them sooner rather than later, as opposed to holding on to them and seeing if their value will um, increase over time.
Yeah, I had considered opening the Manwolf that we have right now. I have, I think, two unclaimed ones. So yeah, maybe sell the cards and then just sell the figure at a discount. But I was like, yeah, it's it's a little bit too unsteady. Especially I feel like each day goes by, more of these figures are going to be easier to find. Um, like I know the Soulstone figure, I'm sure will always, be valuable because it seems like it's pretty hard to come by. But I think these pack-ins will eventually lose their value. Um, but yeah, we got in this giant like missile thing. Had a couple people cancel the order. I think people are unsure if they want another big thing, especially with this guy that I'll talk more about a little bit later.
So good.
Yeah. So I mean, there's that. There's like the snake armor that's coming out for GI Joe. There's a couple of big things. So I think people are running out of space. Yeah, and then we got a couple of Star Wars stuff. We got the Sand Trooper, which I also have here somewhere. We got the Fallout Power Armor, which we'll look at in a little bit. So yeah, a lot of cool stuff. We also got in actually the GI Joe Scorpion pet pack, and the Scorpion looks like crazy. Um, like I was opening that box, and my daughter was around, and she's 3.5, and she was like scared seeing the Scorpion because it's like very realistic looking. So it's pretty
Oh,
cool.
that's right.
Yeah. Um, yeah, and then in terms of like pre-orders, the big thing this week was the Punisher Nick Fury. Um, we put up the Wonder Woman just for a handful of our friends. And then yeah, I think for all of us, because getting imports is hard right now. Been putting up more and more of the figure arts. Like yesterday, I was asking for like another 6 figures, and it seems like there's at least one person that's interested in each one. And so I'll be putting up a number, yeah, a number more of figure arts probably today or tomorrow for pre-order. Because yeah, it's just sucks. Hard to get them, and it seems like it's like people, at least the friends that we have here, would rather get them here than somewhere else, which is cool. So I appreciate that. Um, so yeah, that's toy news. Or sorry, store news. Toy news. I thought this was really interesting. I don't know if you guys saw this. Yesterday or the day before, Hasbro Pulse revealed that they're making something, at least something, if not like a line for Tron and Tron Legacy, um, which is very interesting. So I think if it were the general like Hasbro account, then it's like, maybe more of like kind of the cheap stuff, I guess, or stuff that you would see like at Target. But Hasbro Pulse, and especially this guy, Steve, whatever, I forget his last name, is more of like the collector lines. And so, yeah, I'm very curious to see what they end up making.
Yeah,
I'm
Do
not
you?
this
super
is
familiar with like Tron in general, but I have some cool designs.
Yeah.
oh definitely. I I'm a big fan of the movies, and I think it's gonna be interesting, especially because I feel like not too long ago, and when I say not too long ago, it's probably like 5 years ago, they made a Diamond Select line of
Oh,
Tron
interesting.
figures.
I vaguely remember that.
Um, yeah, and they didn't have much attention to them, and this sort of feels reminiscent of that. There was no like publicity. It was just like there's a little announcement, and then they started showing up on shelves shortly afterwards, and just like not a lot of attention, just sort of in the background kind of thing.
Mm,
Um, and again, this feels very reminiscent of that, where like I feel like whoever is doing the Tron stuff, I think they're owned by Disney at this point, but
mhm,
um, they are hesitant, or maybe Disney is just not willing to put in the same kind of money in advertising that they are for their other IPs.
mhm.
But
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see because I again I really like the Tron movies. I didn't get any of the Diamond Select toys because I think they were a little too tall for the rest of my collection, and I wasn't really into that at the time. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I would love to see. I think. I think the costumes, both from the original movie and then from the second movie, which is, I think, second movie is Legacy.
I
Um,
think.
yeah, I mean, yeah, the costumes look cool. I mean, you can't beat like the OG like retro look, but um, especially if you got some of the light cycles, that would be like really, really cool.
light
Um,
Something
cycles
that
from Legacy especially are crazy.
yeah, then yeah, there's the whole. I mean, doesn't list Ares, but yeah, no, Ares has like there are all the red ones, and there's like a plain one now, like it's all crazy, but yeah, I'm a little. It would be a bummer if it was just the I forget what they call the ring that they pull off their
Oh
back
yeah.
when they're in the grid. If it was just like a like role play item of that ring, that'd be a bummer. But I do hope it's like figures or vehicles. Yeah, I think
hopefully
that'd
not
be
just Jared Leto figures.
yeah, yeah. I know I was gonna say like if they did Tron Ares, it'd be cool because some of those designs are cool, but yeah, I don't want any Jared Leto figures. Um,
No.
I could do with less. I could do with no Jared Leto in my life. So, yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting if if they had like the original Jeff Bridges and then old man Jeff Bridges. Yeah, I think there's a lot of cool stuff they could do with it.
Yeah, something that our young friend Swag pointed out is that if they wanted, they could probably release some like Daft Punk figures with the Tron Legacy stuff. There's only like those old figure arts that are like super expensive, so
Super
some
expensive.
some Daft Punk figures, like even if it was a domestic line like that, like would be really nice.
Dude, I would
Would
kill
be cool.
for, yeah.
It's so unlikely though. I bet there's conflicting IP rights there, and the
Oh
fact that they're
yeah, I mean
broken
like
up now
I wouldn't
is
like
like
hold my breath or anything, but like it would be super cool
oh yeah,
having
yeah.
another option.
I mean, what was it? Daft Punk and was it Hatsune Miku? I don't know. I know that Daft Punk was in Fortnite, I think this past week. They did like a
Oh
Yeah.
live
wow.
concert. So they're technically Fortnite characters also. So
Hmm.
um maybe
Do the
Hasbro can
Fortnite live.
resurrect. Yeah. Yeah. It would be killer to get Daft Punk figures, but yeah, it does feel pretty unlikely. Um yeah, it would be cool. Curious to see what else there could be. But elsewhere in toy news, there was these
Yeah.
over the garden wall statues, really more than figures, by Mondo. I saw them at San Diego Comic Con and I really liked them. But I just, with Mondo has like taxes, tariff charge, shipping. Sometimes there's two tariff charges. So
Mm.
I think this set is 135, but out the door it was close to like 180. Yes,
Mm.
sold out anyways. But yeah, they're if you buy it directly from them, you get the wolf, but other retailers and potentially even us will get just the kind of main character cast. So if it's not that much, I mean, I would hope that it would be cheaper than the 135. If it is, then I'd probably pick it up that way. If not, then I'll probably just print figures or characters from over the garden wall. But yeah, they look great, but it's just expensive.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem we touched on with Mondo whenever we did the tier list is like the barrier of entry is so steep.
Hmm. Yeah,
And
it's
135 seems like not a bad price for essentially three figures, and they're
hmm
1/6 scale, right? So
hmm
it's a lot of plastic that you're getting in that package, but if out the door it's closer to 200, that's starting to get on the like, yeah, I pass on this kind of
yeah,
Yeah.
area, especially for uh figures that will most likely just sit on your shelf.
yep, yeah. So yeah, Wirt is like 7.5, which is pretty big, but yeah, Greg is only 4 inches, so that's pretty small. The wolf is huge. So that I think kind of justifies a bit of the price, but still, yeah, I agree with you. Packaging is nice. I think Mondo also does, they're really good at
Oh yeah.
packaging. Um, cool. Yeah, so there's that. Speaking of Mondo, they also did their 112 scale He-Man stuff, which is still over $100, even though it's like, 6, 7 inch scale. And again,
Yeah.
with like all those extra prices out the door, so it sucks. Um, looks nicely
A little
detailed.
much.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I love like the paint applications look really well done, really professional, but it's a lot. So we just lost like 30 minutes worth of stuff because my computer froze, or I should say specifically my recording software froze. So um, you're gonna miss most of the new stuff that we talked about. That was just for us, I guess. So we'll just start. I guess we'll just pick up with our pickups. Just me and Jaden have stuff, and then we'll talk a little bit about something else, and then we'll wrap it up. So this episode is probably going to be shorter than most, but again, we were talking 30 minutes with nobody, so this is what
We
we
are well
got.
informed. We know all about the news this week.
Yeah, yeah. So you could ask us after you watch this episode. All right, Jaden, you want to go ahead?
All right. My first pickup was the Haya Toys 2014 Godzilla,
Curious,
which
can you show how well the tail articulates?
oh yeah. So the I could actually get it wants to focus on my figures in the background. Uh, if I can get this
Kind of,
kind
sort
of
of.
well, in any case, you can see the tail back here anyways. It's got individual segments all the way through the tail. Go
So good.
curl around about that much. Um, maybe I could get it to go a little further, but it'll go up, it'll go down, it'll go whatever way you want to point it, just because each and every single one of these little tail segments is articulated.
Hmm.
And then all of these like scales, back plates, whatever you want to call them, along her back are pretty solid, except for the ones on the neck,
Mm,
which allow you to raise her neck up as much
yeah,
as you
it's
want.
perfect.
And then she can look. One Direction actually pretty far. Um, but yeah, I've been really enjoying her, especially for a $60 figure. Like,
Hmm.
it's the amount of articulation is insane. Um, and I don't have to worry about all the fiddly bits with SH Monster Arts or the
Hmm.
$150 price tag
Yep.
at this
Yeah.
point. The only other figure I've had for Godzilla is the NECA original movie poster.
Which is really good.
Like,
I would for sure pick that up
yeah,
if I found it.
it's um it's older before they lost the license to Godzilla. Um, but they were actually making some decent figures, and she looks a little goofy, but see if I can get it to focus this time.
There you go.
There it is. Uh, but
Yeah,
yeah, it's just like guy in a suit vibes, and I love that so much.
that's really good. Really good.
Um, the only other thing I got was the Death Corpse of Krieg figure for Warhammer. And I mainly got this guy because their lore is pretty cool, and they
There we go.
are some of the most impressive just regular humans in the Warhammer universe. But also, it is a perfect example of like scale in the Warhammer universe. So
Mm,
like regular human compared to giant space
hmm.
marine armored crazy
Yeah, it really
motherfucker.
shows you how big they are.
Like literally, he's the size of his sword.
Which is like so
Maybe
wild that
smaller, actually.
like if you're in universe, it's like why am I fighting in the army when there's these giant dudes and like huge sets of armor? Like what do you want out of me that like those giant marines can't do?
Right.
And what's crazy too is that they make it work in the lore too, because like this guy, his rifle, if I can get it to focus again, we'll see. But his rifle is like one of the most impressive weapons
Mm,
in the Imperium. It's called a las rifle, and it'll just go through a lot of power armor in one shot.
wow.
It takes a little while to charge. It's not exactly the best for the Space Marines, so they're going around in this big bulky armor. They want to get up close. They want to shoot people in the face as quickly as possible. So a lot of the regular humans will stay back. These guys are really suited for like trench,
Mm,
blitzkrieg, uh, warfare, guerrilla fighting tactics type stuff. So they'll have these las rifles, and they'll stay completely hidden because of their small size in the trenches, and just fire around from you know miles away and hit their targets. And like they're more strategically placed, like uh, more. I don't want to say more effective, but like more surgical, like
mm.
strategic placement, and really can rival the best Space Marines out there.
It's just cool. They're like like a specialist that yeah, can be used to take out those big dudes. So that's cool.
Yeah,
Um yeah, and yeah, I mean I think with the highest stuff, like last week I had the um Haya Ghidorah, Ghidorah.
Dora.
Um,
Yeah,
um, yeah, and the quality is just insane. Like Haya's definitely eating Bandai's lunch, where it's like these things don't need to cost like $250. Um, and really shows like, yeah, you can get, I think probably like 19 times out of 20, you're getting a better product with Haya toys than you are with Monster Arts. So, yep. Um, but yeah, for me, and I don't even remember if this was still in the podcast before we froze. Um, um, open this
this is so
guy.
great.
Still kind of deciding if I want to keep him. Rex said I could open his to like, give it a try and whatever. Um, so yeah, I think if I decide I want to keep him, then I'm gonna get rid of my big gold dragon that I have a hard time saying the name of. Um, I just don't have space for a bunch of big stuff. But yeah, I feel like this could be fun. I could definitely see Godzilla fighting this in like a kaiju kind of battle. Um,
Yeah,
I can see like the Fallout power armor fighting it, the snake armor guys. So I feel like it has a lot of good use, but he's just hard to stand.
Mm.
Because yeah, these are all like, bendy. And so like, and I printed this for one of the one one of the customers, but um yeah, like this is, kind of his pose in Marvel vs. Capcom. And
Leatherface crossed his
to
arms.
yeah, but even just to try to replicate how his feet are is like really hard. So that's the only thing I think I don't like about him. But yeah, speaking of 3D prints, another customer ordered this, which is the Duel of the Fates from the Phantom Menace. Like it's the whole platform that they're fighting on, um,
Mm.
which is cool. But each piece and a second piece is printing right now, but each piece is like $10 worth of filament, which is crazy.
Wow. Oof.
And takes like 7 or 8 hours to print each. Yeah, and it's like it's such a bummer because I printed this first and I jacked it up.
Ooh.
So I was like trying to find a way to redeem it, but I was like, I don't think I can. So it's just a bunch of wasted filament, which is a bummer. But yeah, I feel like kind of my interest right now in my collection is and it's maybe it's because the um Star Wars Vintage Collection HasLab from last year is getting in people's hands, which is the whole like Cantina set. And seeing their pictures has been making me want to recreate it in 1/12 scale. Um, so like I have a tab open for like Luke's land speeder that I found like pretty cheap from like a brick and mortar on the East Coast. And then showing this off that was in the Lost stream. But yeah, thinking about keeping two of these sand troopers for myself and kind of customizing them up, making them real dirty, and they could be like, harassing patrons at the cantina or outside the cantina. And I really like the idea of that. Um, I feel like just in general, the stuff that I've been wanting to get or to open is stuff that I can do like customizing on. I feel like that's been a lot of like the fun that I've been having in my own personal collecting these days. So yeah.
Nice.
Um, I threw out a couple questions that we could talk about in our like private podcast chat. I know my kids are waiting for me to be done. So um, I think maybe kind of related. Um, I'm curious to know like what right now, what is like your focus on collecting? I think we all know Jaden's. But what's the kind of stuff that you're focused on and like how do you display or store your collection? Yeah, I'm curious to hear more about that.
Yeah. You want to start, Jaden?
Sure. I mean, I have always been incredibly photography focused. I know I have two shelves now, but before I used to say that my pictures are my shelves, and I would never have any shelves. Um, and that's still pretty much holding true. Obviously now I do have some Warhammer figures that I am displaying, but uh, even then, I'm still taking pictures of some of these guys, and my first intent is to when I buy a figure is to photograph it in some sort of scene, some sort of story that I want to tell with it.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah,
And how do you keep track of all the other stuff you have that's not on those shelves behind you?
so I have right now. I have a tub of Marvel Legends. I have a tub of McFarlane's, and I have a tub of like NECA slash other domestic cheap figures. And then I have a like uh, it's supposed to be a shoe rack. That's like a bunch of little levels with cloth padding so that the figures don't get all messed up. I just lie them down on there for each imported line. So right now, I think my Amazing Yamaguchi has two shelves out of that, but like there's a Mezco one as well, which is I don't know, not imported, but still, I wouldn't want to throw those into a bin or anything. And then Mayfax SHF, and then have right now very carefully laid out into a box of like a bunch of figures that I don't have like on my desk, but I still want to take pictures of
Mm,
before I just put them away, and those are in there, and either they will get pictures taken of them or they will get sold. So,
mm. What are some of the figures that you have in that box?
uh, there are a lot, but I believe uh, there's a lot of Dragon Ball Z figures in there.
Mm,
So like the final battle Jiren, where he's topless and he's you know huge muscles and everything.
hmm
There's Mr. Satan and Boo, um, and then there's a couple Mezco figures, the Lobster Mobsters,
mm.
Pete, who we always like to call him, uh,
Yep.
and yeah, just there's a lot right now because I haven't been taking all that many pictures, and I need to get back on it. But yeah,
Interesting. The box to photograph is an interesting approach. Yeah, I mean, I have that, but it's just on my desk. Like, if they're still on my desk, that means I don't feel like I've given them enough time to shine yet.
well, it used to be these two shelves right here, and you could see them in the previous podcast where I'd have like my somewhat newer figures, and I still have a couple on the bottom shelf here,
Mm,
like this guy. But or I guess I have taken a picture of him, but this guy, like Ken,
hmm
or Ryu rather, Ken is on there, but he's a little back there somewhere. Um, but yeah, I obviously these got taken up, so I need to put them somewhere.
Yeah. What about for you, Tiger?
Yeah, I think I'm kind of in a similar boat where I want something that's very photogenic, articulate, versatile. I want to be able to put my figures in lots of different types of situations. So having a lot of options, accessories, articulation, definitely important. And the way that I store all of mine is I have a bunch of clear, multi-tiered boxes, and
Mm,
I put a label on each shelf, and I line up all the figures from left to right, and then I line up all the bags of accessories with little labels on each one of them
mm,
on the other side, so I can just grab the figure and the accessory bag pretty quickly. Um, and then like on my coffee table right in front of like where I hang out all the time, watch TV and stuff like that, I have a little diorama, my little subway or alleyway diorama that
mm.
you guys see all the time, sits right in front of me, and I usually have two or three figures right there, so I can just pick something up and start posing while I'm watching TV or a movie or something.
Nice.
Um, yeah, so the only downside of doing that really is like if I want to do anything with a figure, I have to go look through these boxes and get it out, and like I don't know, I guess having them stored like that makes me use them a little bit less. So like I have to make myself like pull something out that I haven't used in a while, you know. Um, so yeah, it's good. I've got them. Some of them that have cloth goods, like y'all remember that Figuarts Ace de
hmm
Portugas. Um, they were saying that his big jacket bled a lot of
mm,
black
hmm
ink all over stuff. So I bagged some of that stuff individually too, just because I don't want it. bleeding all over the character or some other figure or something like that. I've
Yeah,
got a lot of characters with soft goods, and so I don't want any of those soft goods getting ruined either. So, yeah, it's a lot to maintain or whatever, and it could probably be a little better as far as me using things regularly or not. But yeah, it's at least organized. I know where everything is. If I want to go grab a figure, it's I know where it is just about.
yeah, for sure. I also just realized that you guys are hearing me through this new mic, but that's not the input that I'm recording. So,
Oh no.
um, which is fine, and
For us,
y'all can still hear
we're
me.
special.
Yeah. So you might have noticed while watching this, like, oh, like Bryce has a new mic. You're not hearing it. They are. So you'll hear it next week. Um,
Oh
but
goodness.
yeah, for me, I'm like pretty similar. Stuff that I buy is only stuff that I feel like I can photograph. I can think of ideas for. And I think as I was listening to you guys, I think that's what I realized. I am enjoying the whole Cantina Tatooine kind of like setting. Because when I think of other Star Wars stuff, I'm like, oh, they're just, they're in this place or they're in space or whatever. But um, this feels like such a like Star Wars nerd thing to say, but like I feel like there's so much character and personality in the cantina, and there's so much going on that it's not like, oh, I'm taking something, a picture of something that didn't happen. It's like the cantina was this really busy place. Like these things could be happening in that context. And I think that's what interests me because as much as I like Star Wars, they're kind of somewhat similar to the display that you have behind you, Jaden, where it's like I just like having them displayed and I like looking at them. But I always wish there's more I could do photography wise, and I think that whole cantina setup is what's exciting me from the photography side. So there's that. And then yeah, I think I've talked about it before, but I have two bookshelves and then like a horizontal like shelf that's above my work desk. All of it is at work, none of it is here because it would go missing and be broken within the day. Um, but but yeah, I have all of that, and I realize kind of like what you were alluding to, Tiger, like if I can't see it, I forget about it. And so I even have like a bunch of army builders in one of my desk drawers, and I always forget that I have army builders because I never open that drawer. Um, but yeah, sometimes I'll just sit in my desk at work and I'll be like looking at my bookshelves, like, okay, I want to use this, I want to use that. Um, and I'm like very much out of space on all three of the bookshelves, but it's hard for me to just want to start storing them because if I store them, then I'm gonna forget that I have them. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a pull and push situation. You want to have as much out as you can, but limited space and kids and all kinds of different
Mm,
factors. So, yeah, there's a lot to consider when you're thinking about storage and whatnot.
hmm. Yeah. I think from a display standpoint, I don't really care whether they're displayed or not. Um, so like I just put them in the vanilla. I put them in like prom pose like this so that I can fit more on each shelf.
Yeah,
Um, but but yeah, if it were not just for like knowing what I have that I can use for pictures, they would just be in bins also. So yeah.
yeah. I would do shelves if I didn't have cats. My cats, they they yank them off there and mess them up. So, I'm not trying to break a $90 figure arts because my cats are bored.
Yeah. Cats.
Surprisingly, when I did have shelves like way back in the day, it was like 5 6 years ago. My cat never bothered them. He would always jump up on my keyboard and stuff and lay on my mouse or whatever. But yeah, he just had no interest in the figures whatsoever. Uh,
Nice.
Yeah, that's good. Helpful. All right. Well, I think that'll do it for us this week. Again, apologize that we messed up or the stream crashed. Apologize that you're not hearing the benefits of my my new microphone. You're still hearing my crappy AirPods. Yeah, we'll, hopefully have it better next week and hopefully no crashes. So, um, yeah, this has been it. This has been our Froggy and Friends podcast. Like, subscribe, share with your friends if you can remember. Um, yeah, we will catch you next time at the pond. Thanks for joining us. Bye.
Later.